Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today we're going to talk about where does Nintendo and Team Smash go after the announcement of Steve for DLC characters for Smash Ultimate. If you've been living under a rock, you will know that Steve from Minecraft, Steve and Alex technically, from Minecraft are now, or soon to be coming to Smash Bros. Ultimate. And this is a huge get for both companies, really. This is a massive thing for Nintendo because Minecraft is the best-selling game of all time. Millions of copies sold, and for Nintendo, that's a good crossover. And for the guys at Mojang, I'm pretty sure they're very happy to see their character in Smash in some way, crossing over with all these absolute gaming icons and giants. But it does mean that where do you go after this? Where do you go that makes either characters have a big splash like that? And I think the answer is you probably don't. I think what they do now is they have a look at a classic character, someone from like much earlier games. They look at a fan requested character, or they just look at somebody who's currently popular that would be fun to put in the game. I don't think you compete with the fact that Steve is just huge news for a lot of people. So I made a bit of a list of some characters I think have some kind of chance. I'm not saying this is a definitive list, this is just a few ideas I've jotted down and I think have some chance of definitely getting in one way or another. Also, the thing to think about with the Smash Bros. DLC is the fact that most characters have some kind of gimmick. You look at Joker, he's got Arsene, he can summon that persona, he has the Rebellion gauge for that. You have Hero, who has magic points that obviously if you don't have any you can't use them. Terry has super move inputs and move inputs. Byleth, you could say, Banjo, has Wonder Wing, which has the most high priority. Byleth is one of the few characters who doesn't, but technically their gimmick is every direction is a different weapon. So there is that. Then we've had Min Min, who has crazy reach and has, just the way they work, he has both A and B activate different arms. And then we've got Steve coming, who has like the mining ability and able to put blocks down and stuff, so it's crazy. Now at this point I really don't think anyone at the Team Smash, like Sakurai included, there's no character they can't do. You know, they could put anybody in this game. I should mention that obviously I really wanted Travis Touchdown in the game. That's not going to happen now, at least not in this Fighter Pass, because he's a Mii costume now. And I would have been okay. I'm okay with him being a Mii costume, but I wish they'd gotten the No More Heroes theme to be able to put it in the game. That really sucks that they don't have that music. But alongside Bomberman, like at least, Bomberman was another character I really wanted to be playable. But now he kind of is, so that's cool. So we've got a couple of those. So let's go through this list. I'm just kind of spitballing ideas here. I have no real proof to any of this stuff, but these are the characters or franchises that I think would make some kind of splash if they get into Smash. That rhymes, I don't mean to. Primarily third party. There are some first party characters on this list, but let's start with Capcom. I think Capcom definitely has a chance of getting another character in here. If they really wanted to do what I think would be an interesting pick, they could pull from Street Fighter again, but I think with DLC it's meant to be like Fire Emblem's a weird one because Byleth isn't set in the same universe. Like that character's not from the same universe as anyone else. But it doesn't mean they couldn't pull from a franchise, like the same franchises for DLC characters. So I do think Street Fighter has a potential. And you could have someone like Chun-Li, maybe. But I think Capcom, if they get another rep, it won't be from Street Fighter. I think the three most likely candidates would be Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, and Devil May Cry. Resident Evil's a weird one. We've already had Spirits, and we don't know if they deconfirm it. It's kind of like a fan rule. I don't know what you do with this character, whether you could make it Jill, Chris, or Leon, I think. Or Jill, Chris, Leon, or Claire. One of those four. It would probably mostly be Leon or Jill, I think. And I mean, it would kind of be like Snake in the sense that they would probably have like mostly guns and explosives and things. I don't know what you'd have as a unique gimmick, to be honest, for them, but they don't necessarily need one. But it seems like Smash constantly seems to give every new character some kind of gimmick. I mean, you could have it so they have ammo, they could have limited resources. That would be kind of cool. So like, if you've got you can switch between weapons. And maybe you have like a one grenade shot that you can use, or like a couple of shots with a shotgun, and then the pistol's got more ammo or something, and then you can run out and then you have to, I don't know how you would get more ammo, but maybe random drops appear or something on the level. That kind of like survival horror element, that would be kind of cool. Like you have to scavenge for tools and like you can get random things. I think that would be kind of cool as an element for them. But I think Resident Evil would be, I do think that would have a crazy impact. Like, I think because it's such a different series, we're talking about a horror series, I do think they would have to tone down some of those elements for it. But kind of cool. I've never been a Resident Evil fan myself, but I like the idea of having a character like that. I mean, having a mansion level would be awesome, and then like zombies come in from the side or something. That would be pretty cool. But again, definitely they'd have to tone some things down because of like the horror element. Monster Hunter, from what I've recently heard, the team at Monster Hunter don't want a generic hunter in anything. But it's definitely a character idea that would be kind of cool. So I think out of the three of them, that's the least likely. But Monster Hunter again would be huge, especially in Japan. Like, I know it's more popular over here as well now, but it's such a huge thing in Japan that I think that would be. I could see them doing something with Monster Hunter. I think that would go down really, really positively. Again, not really a character I want. The Monster Hunter themselves is pretty generic because you kind of make your character, but definitely could have again that kind of huge splash kind of appeal. It'd be massive for a lot of people, I think. There's also a film coming out, so you could coincide it with that, I guess. And then obviously Devil May Cry, I think. People like Dante, I think he's people like him because he quips. He's a sword and gunfire, which, you know, like, we don't really have that, which would be kind of cool. I mean, he'd probably play a bit like Bayonetta, I guess, but I've never really played, I played a little bit of Devil May Cry. But I mean, I'm totally cool for it. If he's got like funny taunts and maybe he talks during battle or something, I think that would be really cool. But I think if we're gonna get a Capcom rep, unless they whip out something from Mega Man, which would kind of be cool, but I don't think we'll get any more Mega Man representation from that series. I definitely think it will be one of these three. If I had to put my money down, I think the one that would make the biggest splash is Resident Evil, but the one they would most likely go with would be probably Monster Hunter if they can do that. And then Devil May Cry, I think a lot of fans would really enjoy having Dante as this crazy character in the game. So any of those, I'm totally cool with myself. I think they're all good picks. Moving on, I'm looking at Sega now. I've only put down a few things from Sega, but Sega have a lot of games that they could pull from. You could technically get someone from Virtua Fighter. I think that would be very out of left field. I'm not familiar with a lot of Virtua Fighter stuff, but they could do something like that. But I think they're more likely to look at. I've put down there the Sonic the Hedgehog series, Streets of Rage / Golden Axe, and then Alex Kidd. Starting with Sonic, I think if you really wanted to make a good choice in character, I think anyway, I would put Robotnik / Eggman in this game. I've said this before. I think he would be a really fun character if you put him in his. I don't know what it's called, the little egg flying thing. Little thing he drives in most of the games, and then all of his directions of moves are all moves that he does from boss fights from various Sonic games. So like his down air could be the spike that you get when you're on Spring Yard Zone that he uses, or like he has the pendulum, which could be his forward air and backwards air where they swing back and forward and things like that. You could have like the bubbles coming off of him as like an attack. Like I really think he would be a lot of fun to play, and obviously more villains is always good. And then you could give him the stage like Death Egg or Launch Base, or personally I would love a Chemical Plants stage, but like I don't know, he was the only character I would want to see pulled from Sonic. I'm not that fussed about anyone else. Like if they could bring Eggman Robotnik into the game, I would love that. That would be so cool. That would be like a really good choice. I think a lot of people would really like it. He's a very cartoony villain as well, which would be a lot of fun. Like, you could just have him taunting Sonic and stuff. So but I think that would be the best choice from a Sonic character. As for Streets of Rage and Golden Axe, I think anyone from Streets of Rage, I think technically, if you're going to pull from Streets of Rage, it would probably be Axel Stone, but you could put in Blaze or Adam. All three of those characters would be a lot of fun. Primarily for me, I want a Streets of Rage character because one of the stage would be fucking amazing, but the music choices would be incredible. And I think that would be a really good choice. I think, you know, Streets of Rage 4 did really well. You could have the updated appearances and the original appearance of those characters, maybe. Like, I think you could do some really fun stuff with that. And I don't think it's overly likely. It's the same with Golden Axe. Golden Axe is just a really classic Sega series, and I think if you're going to pull from Golden Axe, you go for Gilius Thunderhead, you go for the dwarf, you give him the axe, so it's not the same as a sword fighter, and you could do stuff where he has magic and physical attacks and like combos and things. And I think those two franchises would. I think they definitely, in my eyes, something from there deserves to be in Smash. I think Sega has a lot of things that they can pull from. And then obviously I put Alex Kidd, like kind of Sega's original mascot. I don't know what you would do with Alex Kidd, but I think a Mii costume would actually suit Alex Kidd better. I could see them doing that. A Mii costume with like the first, like an updated remix of the first level music. I think that'd be kind of cool actually. And that's the thing, I should probably point out there are a couple of ideas for Mii fighters here, and a lot of these characters that don't get in, I think Mii fighter costumes would be great. The way they've been doing them, they've been looking fucking amazing recently. But I think, honestly, with Sega, they've probably got more IPs that I'm missing off here that they could easily pull from. I mean, you've got Puyo Puyo and stuff like that, but like, for me, I think you either get Robotnik in there, in kind of, like, you know, this little flying craft, and that would be a lot of fun. Or you go for a Streets of Rage character, probably over Golden Axe, and then have like a combo meter or something to do, like, you know, the more hits you land, maybe the more damage you do, or I don't know, something like that. And then maybe you can call in the police and like the fire that comes in. That'll probably be the final Smash, to be honest. But I really like the idea of having Streets of Rage in Smash. I think out of all the Sega franchises right now, that's the one I want. I mean, they've got things like Jet Set Radio as well, but I would be shocked to see that. But if I had to put my money down on anything Sega, I mean, it's probably Sonic related, but personally, give me some Streets of Rage, give me a really cool stage, and give me some that glorious music that series has. Moving on, I've put down Microsoft next. Honestly, Microsoft's last big character would be Master Chief. I don't think Master Chief is going to be in this game. Maybe again a Mii costume, but definitely not. I mean, there's no way they would probably let them do it as a Mii costume, but I don't think Master Chief's coming, and the reason for that is we've just had 2 Microsoft reps, one in the first pass, one in this pass. If there is a third fighter pass, which I would love if they keep making these, then potentially, but right now I do not think Master Chief is getting in. A lot of people are saying that they think it's locked in, but not convinced. So, but yeah, so Microsoft, not really sure there. Bethesda, which is now owned by Microsoft on the other hand, what do you pull from them? People have been saying Doom Guy. I actually think we are not going to get anything from Bethesda like that. I think we're going to get a Doom Guy Mii costume, and I also think we're going to get a Mii costume from the Elder Scrolls, something related to that. I think we will. I mean, we've obviously had Fallout in there, but I think Bethesda right now, I think Nintendo are going to be like, hey, Doom Guy's maybe a little bit too violent, but let's give him a costume, that'd be kind of fine. And you know, same with Elder Scrolls, give them something that's kind of like fun from there. And I think that's it for Bethesda. I don't think we're going to get anything else from them, but I don't know, I got this feeling that Mii costumes would really suit a lot of the stuff from those series, so we'll see about that. Up next, I've got Koei Tecmo, Ninja Gaiden, Ryu Hayabusa. He's the obvious choice for Koei. I mean, or you could take someone from Dead or Alive. There is very much that possibility. Again, I've not played that much Dead or Alive, so I do not know like any of the characters. But I think with Koei, like, the way that they've been helping Nintendo out with these Hyrule Warrior games, and you know what, I could see them, they've probably got a very good relationship with them. I could see them potentially getting Hayabusa in the game. Like, I think as a classic NES character, he's definitely got a shot. I'm not sure, like, I'm kind of like 50-50 on him. Like, I think he's got a shot and he's definitely possible, but I just don't know if that, like, Koei are going to get anything in this. Again, it could just end up as a Mii fighter costume. Like, that's what I'm feeling. Like, a lot of these companies that want characters that can't have them are probably going to end up like Mii fighters. But I would be totally down for this, because I love it when they bring back classic characters in this game. Because every time they bring in a classic character, it immortalizes that character and cements their place in the gaming history. Like, people go on about like irrelevancy, and then K. Rool came back, and you know, K. Rool was the character I wanted the most, and you can no longer be like, oh, he's too irrelevant. Well, it doesn't matter. Like, he's a character that's part of history now. Like, I think anybody that ends up in Smash Ultimate, whether I like it or not, or anyone else likes it or not, they are cemented as absolute icons. And you can, you know, say what you want on that, but I think that's a debatable statement. But yeah, I do think if Koei's going to get somebody, that Ryu Hayabusa would be a lot of fun. A proper ninja with his different magic abilities and kind of like a fast character and stuff. That'd be kind of fun. Well, I'm all down for that. It'd be just a fun choice, being able to like jump around, wall jump, chucking out shurikens and slicing people up with a sword. Let's go. Let's do it. Obviously, now we've got Square Enix. Probably for a lot of people, one of those companies that's sitting on a lot of characters that, you know, would love to see in Smash. And I think we know that those characters are Geno and Sora from Kingdom Hearts, and then probably Chrono from Chrono Trigger. I wouldn't be surprised to see one of them get in. I think Kingdom Hearts is, I've just kind of accepted it, like, as cool as that would be, and I do think that would make a huge splash. I do think that it is very unlikely that it's going to happen. You're more likely going to get, I don't even think you get a Mii fighter from that. I think with Square, like, because it's that kind of Disney, like, I don't know who owns the rights to Sora himself, because obviously the Disney characters are in those games. But, you know, I never say never. Nintendo can pull off, they've got the money if they really wanted to get that character in a game, but I really think, you know, Sora would be a massive, and he'd also be complicated as hell to play, because he's combo based, you can do air combos and all kinds of crazy stuff with him in this game. But I think out of the other three of these, you got Geno, Chrono, and Sora. I think Sora is the least likely getting in Smash. I just don't see it. Geno and Chrono, that's an interesting one. Geno, I do think has a chance. Chrono, I think, would be massively popular for a lot of people that go on about how good Chrono Trigger is, the game. I have never played it. I don't know much about Chrono himself, but I would actually be happy for a lot of people, because I feel like he would definitely appease a lot of people that wanted a character that was, you know, being it's an RPG that people just love. So it's weird. I think Kingdom Hearts will have the biggest splash. Geno is obviously the most fan appealing character on this entire list, because he's like the one that's missing. And Chrono, I think, would be such a surprise for a lot of people. I think a lot of people would be happy with that. So, potentially one of those three. My money would still probably be on Geno, but I think Chrono would be the out-of-nowhere pick, and then Sora would be the kind of like Steve level, I think. Potentially. Namco, we've got Tales of. Probably going to be Lloyd. I don't know what else Namco can have. I don't know if they can really have anybody from Tekken. I don't know what else Namco owns. I think Lloyd Irving seems to be a character that people, I mean, Sakurai himself has said he would put in the game, or at least have. I've not played Tales of Symphonia. It's definitely a game I wanted to play. Plus, Lloyd actually has two swords, which I'm totally cool for. We've not had a dual wielding character with two swords, so I'm down for that. I think that'd be a lot of fun, actually. But I don't have much to say on that one. I just think it's Namco. They're working on Smash. I mean, give them something. They got Pac-Man in, which is great. Like, Pac-Man is fantastic. But maybe they deserve something else in here. So we'll kind of have to wait and see on that one. And that leaves me up with the two other Western companies. We've got Ubisoft and we've got Activision. So Rayman and Crash. Now, I think Rayman and Crash are probably the last two Western-made characters, excluding first party, that have the biggest chance of getting into this fighter pass. I don't think we're going to get both of them. I think we get one or the other. But I do think both of them would be perfect. The reason for that is because they're very cartoony, and it's good when we get cartoony characters and ones like that. Crash would just be, for me, out of both of them, I would prefer Crash, but I do like Rayman as well. Rayman would be a lot of fun because he has no limbs, essentially, and I think that would be a fun character to have in. He'd have a crazy moveset, I'm sure. It'd be very silly, slapping people about with Rayman. He'd have like a weird reach as well, where he could like hit people in front of him, but his arms would be disjointed from his body, so you wouldn't be able to hit him. So I suppose that's kind of the hardest thing to do. But I think, apparently, I don't know how true this is, but apparently Nintendo publishes Rayman in Japan. I've watched on a podcast, somebody said that, but regardless, I think, you know, they have a good relationship with Ubisoft. We saw Rayman as a trophy in Smash last time. I think, you know, that's definitely a possibility there, and I think out of all we've also just had a Rabbit and an Altair pop up as costumes. Of all the characters I would want from Ubisoft, Rayman is the only one. The only other character that I would personally want would be Sam Fisher, but I cannot see that happening. I would love it. Like, Splinter Cell getting into Smash would be crazy. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't be overly happy, but I would love that. That'd be so cool. But Rayman, I think, is the obvious choice here. And he definitely has a chance because, again, there aren't that many other Western companies I'm thinking of right now that have a character that would be as popular as a pick like Rayman. And the same for Activision having Crash. It's the closest we're ever going to get to a PlayStation rep being in Smash Brothers, because, you know, obviously Activision owns Crash now, and I think the guys could do a really good job with Crash. He has a lot of moves to pull from. His animations would be amazing. Good choices, music. The stages for both of those characters would be really good as well. So I think with Crash you go with probably something from the first game. I'd quite like Insanity Beach, but I probably would pick something else. But yeah, I think those are the highest Western characters likelihoods that we're going to get into this game. Which leaves me with first party, because those are the only third party ones I can think of. And first party, I think we have Dixie Kong, we have Bandana D, we have Waluigi, and we have a Zelda rep. Those are the only 4 characters that I think have a shot getting into this pass as a first party character. I like, as much as I would like someone from Advance Wars or Chibi Robo or Custom Robo, you know, F-Zero, like, none of that's going to happen. Like, it's not going to happen. So let's look at what's actually feasible. Dixie Kong, I think it would round out and complete off pretty much the Kongs. The only other one you could do is Funky Kong is an echo of Donkey Kong. That would be kind of cool. But I think Dixie Kong would be a really good get in this game. I think she'd have a lot of be fast, she'd have a fun play style. I love the Donkey Kong characters. All 3 of the ones that are currently in the game are really good, so I'm down for that. Zelda character, I think it would obviously be someone from Breath of the Wild 2 or Breath of the Wild franchise, because we've now got essentially like a franchise of games going on here. Probably one of the champions. We've just seen Impa, the young Impa in the new Hyrule Warriors. There is a lot of characters they can pull from, and I think people would be really happy with the champions, or a playable Zelda that's kind of more of a fighter than, or something. You know, I think there's definitely kind of like, I don't think they would put an extra version of Zelda in, to be fair. Actually, I think it would be a champion, or it would be someone like Impa who would get in. Bandana 1OD is a character that people seem to really like, and he kind of rounds out the 4-player of Kirby. So you've got Kirby, Meta Knight, King Dedede, and him. I couldn't care less, to be honest, but I mean, it's an easy character to do, and also Kirby is originally Sakurai's franchise, so easy get there. And Waluigi, I think if there was going to be one last character added to this fighter pass, it would be him. You know, I want him, but I want him because I think he deserves to be there. Oh, excuse me, because I think he deserves to be there. But I don't know, it's kind of a long stretch. All these ideas and characters for all these, either the first party or third party, I haven't really thought too much in what would be like a unique mechanic, apart from a couple of the ones I said at the beginning. Like Crash, you could have Wumpa Fruit that you could potentially have to collect to fire the bazooka. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not the guy making the characters, and I haven't really put too much thought into it. But I think there's obviously companies I'm missing. There's obviously characters I'm not thinking of here. These are the ones I just kind of put together quickly, and I was like, you know what? Some of these would make a huge splash, or be characters that I would personally quite like to see after Steve, because with these last 4 characters, I literally have no idea who we're going to get now. I'm kind of past that point of like trying to predict, because I really did think Travis Touchdown was going to get in, and he probably isn't now. And I had no idea Steve from Minecraft was going to get in, so who knows. But yeah, these are just some ideas I've had about going forward. I mean, we're going to be a while before we find out the next one. Maybe at the Game Awards, but I reckon it'll be January, February time when we find out about the next character. So, who knows? Maybe we'll get some crazy announcement then, but as for now, that's just my ideas, my thoughts, my kind of those companies, those franchises where I think it'll be kind of cool to pull from, but we will see. We never know what they're up to. But thank you very much for watching this video. As always, if you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content like this, and hit subscribe. Links for Facebook and Twitter are down below as always. And until next video, I will see you then.